Hello, everyone. So today I have Rinda, who, as you can see, she is a Black mom
Hello.
like me. And I am really excited to have this conversation with Rinda because she is one of my supporters. We have met online, and it's just really beautiful how we've been continuing to connect, how she's continued to just support me. And I really am looking forward to getting to know her a little better. So, Rinda, if you would like to introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, how many kids you have, and yeah.
Okay. My name is Rinda. I am a mom of two beautiful daughters. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Yes, yes. So she has a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. So she has two very young kids, and she is a mom. And do you also, another question for you, do you work full time?
I do. I work full time from home.
Yeah, so that in itself is can be challenging. So let's get into it. So this feature, this you're seeing Black moms that practice yoga. Rinda practices yoga, and the first question I want to ask you is, what does it mean to you practicing yoga as a Black mom?
I think it is what it means to me is to take time for myself and to be still. I think it kind of all plays in with like a part of life, me being committed to do something bigger than, doing something with my kids or doing something with work. And so for me to just be still and listen to my thoughts and you had a post about doing chores at one point, and at one point I was like, I need to do some yoga. Let me sit still real quick. And, I was able to like, okay, maybe I need to set an alarm on my phone for every 30 minutes so that I can get these dishes done. So it has allowed me to feel seen in my own home, to allow me to be more confident in myself and then connect with different people just like you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I like how what I hear you saying is that you've been more mindful. That seems to
Yes.
be like a running theme with every woman I'm talking to. Yoga has helped you to be more mindful, that you are
Yes.
able to know, let me set a 30-minute timer to remind me like to do these chores, or if it be to move my body. And it's be part in part, it's because of yoga, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, it's beautiful. So the next question, can you talk about healing, like healing as a Black mom? Like what does that mean to you?
Healing as a Black mom means mind, body, and soul. Because being a stay-at-home mom or work from home mom, because at one point I went from stay-at-home to work from home, and just being able to have patience with my children, to have patience with work. Everyone goes through things in life, and sometimes it's kind of hard to express, or sometimes we allow self-doubt to say, well, you're not the only one who's going through this. And so just to be able to take out the time to say, no, I need to work on these things and I need to clear my mind. So healing mind, body, and soul is a big part so that I can be the best version of myself for my children and for the people
Yeah.
around me.
Yes, and that's just a beautiful, I love how you brought in the definition of yoga, like that it really is mind, body, and soul. So, can you explain to people like how does yoga look for you on a day-to-day basis?
Um, I think I more so listen to my intuition as far as my inner self. So some days I might not be able to go outside, but I am able to like ground myself in my house. I'm able to, get around some plants that I probably would like, and then just turn on some music that will allow me to focus, meditate, allow myself to say, okay, these are the things I can control or take care of right now that are in the forefront, and these are the things I can take care of later. It allows me to be more aware, more conscious of my day to day. So just me sitting down, even if it's 15 minutes before work, 15 minutes after work, just a moment for me to output and then receive back into myself. I think that's a big part of healing and being conscious of mind, body, and soul.
Yeah. And I like how you're giving like tangible things other moms can do, like the 15 minutes before work and the 15 minutes after work, because I feel like as moms, we get carried away, which it's
Hmm.
okay, like, but it's important though that you take even 15 minutes for a mom, that's a lot of time, so
Yeah.
if you can take the 15 minutes, if you can take the 5 minutes, if you can do 1 minute, like, you
Right.
start small and then you build up. How
Mhm.
Rinda is now able to say, I can do 15 minutes in the morning and I could do 15 minutes in the evening. Like, that in itself is just, it's beautiful. And then also just going back to healing, like, you're able to get these bite-sized pieces of healing in your day to day.
Mhm.
Because what I want to get into when we talk about healing is, it's not like a one-stop shop kind of thing. It's not like, okay, I'm going to go to this retreat, I'm going to get healed. Like, there's you will get healed in maybe in a bigger capacity in that way, but the real healing comes when you come back home and you're back into the throw of it with the kids, with the work. That's when you could say maybe the triggers start coming up, and then you realize, like, oh, I got to heal in this kind of way now, right?
Mhm.
So, like, what comes
Mhm.
up for you when I mention that?
I think that the biggest thing that kind of hit me was we can go to all these retreats and we can get all this support, but it's actually resources. So it's resources for me to have the ability to do these things for myself or want to do these things for myself. And I mean, I could go back to the first time us meeting. It was transforming, and we were only on the call for an hour, but I allowed myself to be vulnerable enough to connect with someone else, and your story allowed me to say, hey, wait a minute, you're not alone. So maybe if this is working for this mom, then I can do it too. So you have to have a little bit of commitment and a little bit of will to
Mhm.
want to heal, because like you said, I mean, triggers could be anything. Triggers could be, I used to lay in the bed till 11 and now I want to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, what's causing me to lay in the bed till 11 o'clock? Is it my eating habit? It causes you to bring up so many things, and then you start thinking about past and family members or what were their eating habits. And then sometimes it could be a trigger because you're like, hey mom, we need to put the ice cream down. And
Mhm.
some people aren't ready, but I'm ready to heal. So it's just about all individual. And sometimes when you do the work and you put the work in and you allow, just like I've seen you put the work in, it
Mhm.
shows to somebody else. And we're like, okay, if she can do it, I can do it too.
Right. That was beautiful. And like Rinda mentioned, yeah, she did do a yoga coaching session with me, which is a virtual offering that I offer. And it's 60 minutes. And like Rinda said, I didn't say it, it is transformative. And I wanted to mention how you said, I saw Lesline healing, so I knew it was safe for me to do it. And what I
Hmm.
heard was representation, right?
Right.
Representation matters is, it goes beyond the hashtag. It goes beyond that hashtag that we be seeing, and it's like, it goes beyond that. Representation matters is it's healing. Like, it's so people like have the space to heal, have permission. Like, when you see somebody that looks like you, that is like, I am healing, I am doing these things, I am being vulnerable, it gives you the permission to do the same. And I've never met Rinda in person, everyone. We connected on social media because I posted something incredibly vulnerable, and I didn't know what the heck. I was like, I'm going to do this because, like, I want to serve and help other people. And lo and behold, Rinda commented on that post, and the rest is history. And now it's been about a year and change, maybe almost 2 years of her just constantly supporting. And I say all that to say, just going back to yoga, because the reason I'm doing this Black History Month, Black Mom Yoga thing is to get more Black moms to practice yoga, is to get more Black moms to realize that yoga is not just standing on your head, right?
Mhm.
So when you do yoga, like, if you're like, okay, I'm gonna actually stretch, and like before you met me, right?
Mhm.
Would you go on YouTube and like, what would you type if you're like, I know I'm supposed to do yoga? Like, what would you type into YouTube, and like, who would you see that would pop up?
Um, I would type in like yogas for beginners, and I really didn't pop up us at first, or African Americans, until eventually I started like searching, and everyone has their own style, and so it's totally up to you. I will say us moms can do it, but I have a 3-year-old. My mom flew my kids to Florida last Tuesday, and my daughter was out, out there waiting on the plane. The plane was delayed, and my daughter was meditating. So literally, so
Oh.
and she wasn't with me. She was with my mom, and my mom doesn't meditate. So just to see her say, okay, I just need to calm down, or just gather myself. She just sees me do it. It's not us teaching. We just wake up in one morning and we just was like, let's turn on yoga. Let's redirect some of this energy. So I've seen the way it has touched my household with not just me, but even my children, where it just has allowed them to, take yoga, and everyone is unique in their own way. It's your own style. So even if it's sitting down, I know the best thing that I loved about this session that we had was, it was like, let's lay down for a second, and my children were in the background, and I still was able to block them out. So it's just about a commitment to say, hey, I want healing. And so many things, we just talk about so many things going on, and that's therapy, but eventually you're like, okay, after I talk to this person for an hour, I still feel the same way. And yoga has allowed me to say, okay, well, how am I going to allow this to continue to affect me?
That's beautiful. And especially your baby, like let's go back to that. Your 3-year-old was not with you. And this just shows everyone, going back to like how, Rinda, before she met me, she typed in yoga for beginners on YouTube, and, she didn't see anybody look like her, but she made the decision, you know what? I need this healing. So I'm just going to keep on, I'll do some yoga with people that don't look like me, but, I'm going to keep going on. Right. And when you put out into the universe that you want to heal and that you commit, Rinda keeps saying commitment, 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 right? And commitment also goes with consistency. If you're consistently showing the universe, showing God, whoever you believe as your higher power, that you want to be healed, that you want to be a better individual for yourself first, and then for your children, God will answer that. And so she, you did that. You kept doing the yoga, and then lo and behold, we connect. Somebody that looks like you, along with, I know there's other individuals that you follow that look like, that are Black as well, but just showing that when you make that commitment, even if at first like, oh my God, this person does not look like me. But sometimes I know for me, I've been in such low places that I'm like, I don't care who the person is. I just need them to help. If they're willing to help, let's do it. You know what I mean? So sometimes when you first start your healing, you can't really be picky with who it is. I'm just, that might irk a little people, but you can't be like, oh my God, I have to have this person. And if I don't find this person, then I'm not going to do it. Because then you're going to be in that same cycle. You're going to be in the same cycle of continually self-sabotaging yourself because you don't find somebody that looks like you. But if you just continue to put in the work and you say to God, whoever you believe, I want somebody that looks like me. God will answer. He will. I promise. So is there any, and then going back to what Rinda said, her baby girl was 3 years old, was with grandma. She wasn't even with you, Rinda. She was with grandma, and she knew. And that's what I cut off of that. It just proves that kids are always watching us. Always. They always, because my kids are the same. They're like, Mommy, you need to breathe, because I would get worked up too sometimes. I just because I teach don't mean anything. I still get worked up at times. Like, you need to breathe. It's like, from. And it's because they always hear me talk. They always are listening, even if the door is closed. They're always listening. And so knowing that, because I know as moms, especially as Black moms, we're like, I don't know how to be selfish, right? And take the time away. Well, think about your kids. Think that your kids are always watching you, no matter what. And wouldn't you want them to know, how to regulate themselves? Because that's also what yoga is. It's healing. And you're also learning how to regulate your nervous system, which is all about what this gentle parenting and all of that is really what yoga helps with. So moving on. how well, there's like two more questions, but how have you, well, you kind of answered it, but I'm gonna still ask it. How have you used yoga to be an amazing mom?
I have used yoga to be an amazing mom by being more present with my
Mm.
children. Actually, like really doing what makes me happy. You know, when you're a mom and you're kind of like figuring it out, and you know, I'm the oldest, and I'm the oldest out of 12, so I didn't
Oh my
have a lot of
gosh.
yeah. So I didn't really have a lot of I didn't see anyone taking care of, like maybe when I'm younger, but as an adult, you don't so I was kind of like figuring it out. And at one point I'd be like, okay, let's go to Chuck E. Cheese, let's go here, let's go there. And like my whole lifestyle has changed. I go, I garden with my kids. We have grown fruits and vegetables over the summer. We go hiking. Just the
Oh.
focus have changed. I can be more clear and thorough with them because I'm clear and thorough with myself. My decision making is, better than ever because I'm self-conscious. I'm more alert, aware, and my
Mhm.
children are the same way. So they see the patience that I have and the grace that I have, because you're going to have those. I mean, every day is not, oh, I meditated, so $1 million going to fall out of the sky.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily
That part,
work like that.
that
Even us having this conversation
part.
and the conversations that we have, I mean, to be honest, like I told you all the time, every time we have connections or, a meetup is powerful. And when she was talking about community, and that's where I really want to be, like, and it's amazing to see you say like, hey, I'll put myself out there. I wasn't expecting to meet a Rinda, and I'm
Right.
just on social media,
Right.
and I'm just like, and I don't even remember, but I just remember you posting something vulnerable, and I was like, hey, if she's posting something vulnerable, let me reach out because I'm feeling the same way. And sometimes as Black women, we don't have that dialect. We don't see we kind of are catty or petty. We
Yeah.
don't, in a supportive way. It's kind of hard for us to, like, you tired, girl, what you tired for? As opposed to like,
Right.
maybe we need 5 minutes,
Right.
maybe we just need to breathe. Okay. Can
That
I get
is.
1 or 30 seconds? I mean, even with, I have friends who like are overwhelmed. I've made a 1 minute video where I'm sitting down in front of my computer with my headset on, and I'm like,
Oh,
just breathe.
that's
So it's been
beautiful.
amazing for me.
That's amazing, Rinda. I'm happy to hear that that's what's beautiful. Like that is incredible that you're serving your friends in that way. Because yeah, when you're overwhelmed and you're stressed out, you can't be doing no 45-minute yoga class. You just
No.
need that 1 minute of like, you are okay. Everything is fine. Like you're good. So I really am proud to hear that you're serving in that way. That is beautiful. All right. So there's wait, is there anything else? You mentioned so many beautiful things. Oh, that's what I want to discuss. So, you were mentioning how as Black women, we don't have the dialect, like we hear a lot about hashtag soft life, right? And a lot of us like, some people are like, what does that really mean? And when I think about soft life, like living that life of being soft, I think of being vulnerable, which Rinda was. She was vulnerable. She was like, well, this girl who looks like me, going back to representation matters, looks like me as being vulnerable. Let me reach out to her because I'm feeling a little vulnerable too. And I don't know what's going to come up of it, but it just intuitively feels right. And going back earlier, Rinda mentioned she intuitively does yoga. Like she'll, intuitively, like, I'm going to breathe today, or I'm going to stretch. Like you follow your intuition, and that's
Yes.
powerful. And then I just also want to mention, like, even how you're saying we didn't see it at growing up. Like we didn't see our moms. Like I didn't really see my
Mhm.
mom being like, my mom, she cared for us and all of that, but when it came to like verbally being like, oh my love, I love you, like, having that
Mhm.
warm fuzziness, she
Mhm.
didn't have that because like my grandma's not like that, right? So
Right.
it's like,
Mhm.
where would she have learned? So I know for me, when I reach out to somebody or, send a message, at first it feels awkward. Like I'm going to be
Mhm.
very transparent with y'all. It feels awkward sometimes when I'm like, I'm just checking in or whatever. But I know what it feels like when I get those messages, when somebody's like, I've just been thinking about you. And I'm like, oh, like it makes me feel good. So it's like,
Mhm.
I say all of this to say, Black moms, at any time, if you, because if you're like, I don't know how, it feels weird. It does feel weird, especially if you did not see it. You can't do something you don't see. Like, so be gentle with yourself in that. But then break that generational, because that's a generational thing. Break that generational habit, if you will, of what stays in the house stays in the house
Or
kind of thing.
curse. Definitely curse.
Curse. Yeah. Break that
Yeah,
generational
definitely.
curse of like, oh, what stays in the house stays in the house. Like, reach out. If you
Yeah.
are hurting, reach out. And if you're like not comfortable reaching out to anybody, write it down. Write it down. Also there's 988. So if you're going through anything mental health wise, you can always call 988. That is a toll-free type of number. It's similar to 911, but 988 is for mental health crises. I don't know, I just felt called to just share that at this time, because I know what it's like to feel crazy, quote unquote, like nobody else is going through this, and then once you say it out loud, like I did all across social media, then everybody comes out of the woodwork like, oh yeah, I was going through that too when I had kids. And I was like, why didn't you say anything? And then it's
Mhm.
like, okay, let me not be like that. Let me be gentle and realize like, oh, maybe the reason I had to say it is so others could start their healing, you
Mhm.
know? So, with that being said, I think we're at a good stopping place, but where, I don't, you said you're now doing like meditation videos for your friends. So where
Mhm.
can people find you? Like if they want to connect with you, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at underscore Rinda with 4 A's, so the RINDAAAA. And yes, definitely I'm a mom again, I'm a mom of two. I'm still working Instagram. But yes, if you're ever wanting to reach out, ever want to talk, I'm always here. If you want to speak to me and you want to reach out to Lesline, I'm always here, just a phone call or a text message or a DM away. So definitely I support Black moms being in yoga. I'm definitely for healing. I what was in my spirit when you said this, we all sometimes don't know we like sushi. We all sometimes we know we don't. It's like, you want to eat sushi? Is that wrong? Until we go there and you're like, your friend is like, no, I think you would like this. And then you taste it and you're like, oh, this is good. That's how trying new things is. That's how riding a bike is. We don't know how to ride a bike before we get on there and ride a bike. You're going to have people who are going to have the training wheels on, who's going to be able to hold your hands. And then it's going to come a time where those training wheels need to be taken off. And what you've learned and the resources you are providing to people all across the world, and to be able to connect all across the world, be able to do it at home like I am now. So thank you so much.
That's beautiful. I love that reference because that's true. Like you don't know what you don't like. Like you don't know you don't like sushi until you try. And that's just, I love every time I speak with Rinda, I just really appreciate how vulnerable you have been, because you're trying new things and it's opening up so many doors for you. Like even if you don't see all of it at this time, like I just love, that's a good reference. Like that is a good reference. And just going back to just try. You either like it or you don't. Or maybe you're indifferent and then you have to try it again. So
Again.
there's beauty in that. And so I just want to close with this. If you are a Black mom watching this and you're like, I don't know about yoga still, try it. Because like Rinda said, if you've never tried sushi, you don't know if you like it. If you've never tried the yoga, you don't know if you like it. But with that, because a lot of people, a lot of moms out there are like, oh, I did hot yoga, I hated it. You need to try again. Preferably, you need to try again with me. And make sure you visit my website, leslinepittman.com, and you'll get a free 7-day yoga challenge. And this yoga challenge, I say challenge, it is not that. It is just a video you get once a day by me, one yoga pose a day, less than 5 minutes, and you're not standing on your head. You're actually learning how to rest. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Rinda, for like giving all of that knowledge and just sharing your time and energy with everybody that watches. Till the next one, I'll see y'all later.
Mm.